So nice to see you. Welcome in France, welcome in Paris. It's really a pleasure to talk to you. Some
Yeah.
years after the last day you came in Paris, it was
Mhm.
yes, a long time, three years I think. So part of my first question is about you did many things in these 3 years, but the last thing that you did it was 26th of April. You give an acoustic virtual acoustic show. It was a special show without your drummer, Haley, but it was two acoustic show. How was it, and what was your feeling to play without really a crowd in face of you?
It's always great playing. Especially overseas in general. Getting to Europe's been a challenge early on in the band's career. So I feel like we're a little bit behind. Getting to Europe. So I feel like every show's a win. It's a step in the right direction to grow the fan base. So that was a great show. I mean, it's always cool to do some acoustic stuff. And but we're looking forward to coming back over there and playing this new stuff, this new music, and coming full guns a blazing, playing loud and proud. The new record.
Yes, I see finally in the last, in February last year, in October, of course, in April, you did many acoustic show. You play electric show, but also acoustic. How is born finally? What pushed you to finally to play acoustic? And what do you like in acoustic
Yeah.
stuff and
I
show?
love the acoustic tour. It's been a big part of my vision since I was a kid. I grew up in Michigan, so it was the acoustic guitar was very much a part of everyday life. We lived by the lake, so we always had the acoustic guitar in the trunk or in the car. And whenever it got late, you're partying with your buddies, you'd always whip out the acoustic guitar and jam, and we just would sing and hang out and have a good time. So the acoustic guitar was always a big part of how my early life was with music. So I want to always share that. And again, even when I listen to some of my favorite rock bands, I always love their acoustic stuff, and to hear those songs a little more broken down, stripped down, and intimate. So fans have wanted the acoustic stuff for a long time here in the States. So we just thought that this was the year to finally be able to pull that off. We'd always been so busy with the electric touring portion of Pop People. So we thought, look, now it's time is now. Let's see how it goes. And it just went over awesome. Everyone was really digging it. Great crowds, great turnout. So, before COVID hit, we were hoping to do it again, but now with COVID, who knows how soon we'll be able to get back to the acoustic? Because now with the new album on the horizon, it's going to be about full guns a blazing, right? Let's get the whole band together and turn it up and jam.
Is it how do you finally how do you choose the songs that you will play in acoustic? Is it do you think a lot about the songs that you will play in acoustic? I suppose
Absolutely.
very
Yeah.
different.
No, absolutely. We try to play the softer side of Pop Evil with the acoustic stuff. I mean, again, the ballads we try to play as many as we can in acoustic stuff. Songs that you might not hear in our set list when we're playing our loud set list. And I think that's the coolest thing about Pop Evil. It's that yin and yang. There's if you're into the heavy aspect, we have that. If you're into you just want to chill and you want to unwind, we got songs for that too. So again, it's about a mood, it's about a vibe, it's about the relatability to life. It's always been, if we're doing acoustic, then if you're feeling that way and you want to be more intimate and stripped down with things in your life, you want to listen to that acoustic show, hey, we got a tour for it. If you don't want to hear us you want to hear more of our heavy stuff and hear us throw down, then our live show, our full set is what you want to hear. So again, just having those options is fun. It keeps it more fun for the band members, I know, to be able to mix it up, and it gives other band members that aren't on the acoustic stuff an opportunity to rest, because
Mhm.
it's a long tour season usually, and it just keeps it fresh, and it keeps it entertaining for us as well, and that's what it should be. It should be fun.
So finally, you came back with a new album, Versatile, with this new album, 12 tracks on this new album. Finally, how do you work this time for the writing? Was it very different from the last one? Do you have more time? Do you write a lot of songs for this album?
Yeah, we did it all different this time. It started off with taking things we didn't like about the recording process in the past, and for me it's just studios. I can't stand studios. They're just always a lot of pressure. You're on the clock all the time. Every move you make, you go to the bathroom, you're paying for it. You know, it's just not a fun setting, you know? So, you know, I did it all in people's houses, the early demo stuff, you know, and I'm always writing myself. I'm a writer first. So I went back, I think, to start this album and just wrote whatever came out. You know, the band members do the same. I think we all kind of split up for a minute so we can all rest, because we usually write right after a tour. And then we kind of come back together and see what everyone's got. And then we kind of flush out those ideas, what's the best. And then this time around, we wanted to do it a little different. We wanted, if we liked a certain demo, then we were going to go record that demo there. Different producer, whoever recorded the demo with us, that's who's going to produce it. You know, we didn't want to just get all these demos lined up and pick one guy to come in, and he might not know anything about you or your band, but he's going to record your whole album, which is your next future for the next 2 years. It's just stale. Like, that's nothing fun about that. It's just daunting, you know, a lot of pressure. So, you know, we just brought different idea, whatever the idea was born, we brought the band there and built around that. And we're just having a blast. A lot of these vocals you're hearing are my first takes, you know, or first vocal sessions. That's what I wanted to keep. I wanted the fans to hear the natural, organic moment when, you know, wrote the melody or wrote the hook, or the band was writing that guitar riff, like we were doing a thing. And that's what you hear on this record. And that's why I think this is, you know, the most superior Pop Evil album to date. You know, it just we were having a different kind of fun. I mean, I know I was, you know, from a vocal perspective, it wasn't work. It shouldn't feel like work when you're creating. It should feel like magic and special. And, you know, when people or your friends and family hear those demos, a lot of times when you re-record them on an album, they're like, oh, I like the demo better. So, you know, we weren't going to have any of that this time around. It was going to be special and natural. And we were going to make or break on what that ends up doing for our bands. Hopefully the fans connect the same way we did.
Yes, so finally, when you work with Kato Kwanwala, you said that it was really a good experience. You learn many things. He brings you a lot of things. Finally, do you have a one moment the idea to work again with him?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So yes, the great surprise. You work with in studio, but you work very different. You work with Nick Rowe for some for some tracks. You work for there is many producer, many mixing. Adam O'Quinn, Drew Falk who work on this album. Finally, what was the idea behind? What do you want to get with all these different producers? And was it a challenge also to finally you change of producer, you change of mixing? Was it a challenge to work like this?
Well, it's always a challenge to do a different record, you know, and obviously we were going down roads that we had never, you know, driven on before. We were trying new things, you know, and I think that having the multiple producers was great, because it made the album or the songs like all a little different, man. It made it fun to kind of put together different songs with different vibes. And we were always thinking about our live show, you know, like, hey, how can these songs fit in our set? You know, what songs are we missing from our live show that we need, you know? So having the multiple producers gave us a lot of different options, you know, and like I said, it kept it fun. We weren't just trying to be locked in a studio for months on end trying to re-record stuff we already liked. So, you know, the multi-producer was a must. We were constantly writing different settings, different vibes, different houses, you know, and then you know, when we got the demos right, then we got a studio for the drums and the bass, and we laid that down. So that was recorded properly. But for the most part, guitars, vocals, we were just doing in-house studios.
It was finally for this album, you call it versatile. I suppose it's a good pronunciation for French, you know. But versatile, what do you want? You play many styles finally in all your career and all your album. That's what you want to say. We are very versatile band. We don't play only one style.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we're very much like the kind of music fans we are. We listen to so many different kinds of music. You know, again, it's very relatable to life. If we're in a certain mood, we want to listen to that kind of song. You know, if we're in another, then we want to listen to something different. So, you know, writing, there's 5 different people from 5 different walks of life that we come together, and that's what we create. You know, that's what makes it special. You know, and you know, this day and age, you have to be creative to create more fans to come to your band, right? So you have to, you know, write different kinds of musics. You know, I mean, I think it's important to not stay in one place. We don't want to play one song 15 times on stage at our live show. We want to play different kinds to show the moods of life, you know, and we want to take people on peaks and valleys and those journeys when they come see us live. So it's definitely a message we want to portray when people think about Pop Evo. We hope that they'll think of that. And, you know, if they want to hear a diverse catalog, then, you know, we're their band. If they want to hear a band that's rooted in one genre or one sound differently, then, you know, we're not the band that they like.
It was so there are 12 songs that you record. You write 30 songs. I read somewhere for this album. When you record the song as a singer, I read that you work a lot on your vocals. When you record the song, was it a song who have been a challenge to record on this album for you?
Was there a certain song that was hard?
Yes, a certain song have been really a challenge for you to record.
I mean, they were all challenged, you know, because it was a different thing. And then I think the biggest challenge came towards the end of it when COVID started to hit, because we were doing all this in Los Angeles, and literally towards the end, I think we had 2 more songs to go. They were shutting down. We heard they were going to shut down the city, so we all kind of scattered. We didn't want to be on lockdown in Los Angeles, so we wanted to be closer to our families, because again, pandemic, none of us knew. Started hearing about all the rumors about how bad this thing was going to be, and you know, it was a scary time, you know. So I think the biggest challenge was, you know, towards the end of the album and finishing it and knowing how are we going to mix it now? Are we going to have to do this from, you know, email and on the road or FaceTime? Like, how are we going to get it done? So I think that was more, if I think back, looking back, that was probably the most challenging, you know, was just how are we going to finish this album? We're so close. So I'd say that.
What is finally about the writing? You write the lyrics. Do you have on these songs, on all these songs, lyrics, a text with who touch you more, with more personal, that you write, that you put a lot of you in the text, as you personal text, perhaps autobiographic, perhaps, I don't know.
I mean, it's tough. It's like you saying what's your favorite child, you know? I mean, you like all the songs you write, you know, on this record. I feel like they all have a purpose. I think for me personally, they come in different spurts. Like when I feel my life's going through this, I listen to that one, or when I feel like I'm going through this, I listen to the other, you know? So it's been nice to kind of have an extra year to live with the songs. But, you know, in a few weeks, once it's released, they're not mine anymore. They become public property. They're out there in the world for the fans to enjoy, and you know, they'll take those songs and have them mean something to them. But, you know, it's been nice. I don't think I have one in particular that's like, you know, stood out. Obviously, Breathe Again's a single right now, so it's been really awesome to enjoy that ride. I just went to #1 on the U.S. charts here at radio, so that's been exciting to see that song climb and the way the fans have responded to that. So I'm excited about that. But I'm equally as excited to let the fans hear the rest of the album, the songs we haven't released yet. So you know, we'll see. I'm looking forward to that and getting them out there. But totally stoked to finally get out and play them live with the band. I can't wait for that.
Yes, you begin finally the album with a strong piece of rock, of heavy, and there are also some tracks like Inferno, who are very ballad, very beautiful with a nice chorus. What about this song Inferno? Is it what about the what is the story of this song Inferno?
I mean, Inferno is just it's a reminder again. Without, I'm not big on telling exactly what these songs mean, because it's more about what the songs mean to the fans or mean to you, you know. But you know, it stems from, you know, how life can get away from you at times, you know, and you feel like everything's burning around you. You know, how are you going to respond to that? You know, and again, one of my favorite ballads, you know, we've ever written. I mean, Inferno is it's a powerful song. There's no doubt, and it's very lyrically powerful, and I think it's very relatable for anyone who's gone through, you know, misfortune, and anyone who feels like their world's fallen down on them. So I'm excited for the fans to embrace that and see what they think.
You are when you have a folk singer who have been out like Walk, like Breath Again. How do you finally choose? It was the first songs finally. How do you choose a single? Was it? Do you think a lot about choose the songs that, especially the first one, would just appear on all everything around in the world, on all the internet side? How do you choose finally the song to be the singer?
Yeah, I mean it's a long process. I mean, you spend a lot of time thinking about it for sure, you know. And usually towards the end of the album cycle, certain songs kind of stick their head up. You know, "Work" was the first single we released on this
Mm.
record, so we were excited about that song early on. You know, we had doubts that when the pandemic hit, because then, you know, once the pandemic hit, nobody was working, so we didn't know if that was the best song to kind of release during this time. But you know, we went with our gut, we put it out there, and you know, it did awesome. It did great. You know, it did great on the charts response. I mean, it was something totally different. You know, you can't put out an album and not take some risk on it. And it was the most experimental song, popular song to date. So we didn't had no idea how the fan base was going to respond to that song. And you know, for the most part, all the fans dug it. They're excited. I think it's going to be a great song for us live. And then, you know, right from Work, we wanted to remind fans that, you know, we're not doing the whole album of songs like that.
Mm.
We're still a, you know, we're still a rock band. You know, here's Breathe Again, and let's bring it back to the heavy that, you know, the fans our heavy fans love about us. And you know, we made sure the heavy was even heavier on this album. So super cool. Breathe Again was that. And you know, we'll see now what we're going to go with the third single and where that goes from there. But you know, we always kind of talk about what's best and what do we want to do, you know, moving forward. What do we want? What songs do we want to, you know, have be single because they're going to help our set list? You know, it's it's a little bit of a chaotic situation, but for the most part, we always kind of see eye to eye, and we're always kind of thinking, you know, on the same page. So you know, we'll see with how this album starts to progress. You know, what singles kind of stick their heads up, but it's always open for discussion amongst our team and band members.
Is it you tell me about Work, who was produced by Boone and mixed by Adam O'Quinn.
Hmm.
That's why you work with them especially for this track. Work was very different. I read that you said that it's experimental songs. What do you mean experimental? You try really something different?
Yeah. Well, Work's very different. I mean, just the beat in general. You know, it's got influenced by other genres. You know, and we just wanted to add the heavy. We wanted to put that rock element in. And a lot of my sports friends, they listen to a lot of other genres other than rock. So all the time I see my athletic friends, I'm always like, when are you going to listen to more rock, y'all? And they're like, whenever you write it. So, you know, we try to do a hodgepodge. It started off as just a hodgepodge fun song for me with a couple of my buddies, you know, and then when it got finished, I mean, everyone was digging it, you know, and you know, we thought as a band, wow, could this be a popular song? And we're like, let's go for it, you know. So once we decided that we were going to have it become a popular song, we went all in on it, you know. And it's something you gotta try. We didn't have anything on our set list, and we were excited to kind of introduce that song to our fans. Unfortunately, then the pandemic hit, and you know, we've yet to be able to play it on stage. So we can't wait to finally play that one. We think it's going to have a lot of energy. Obviously, there's a lot of infectious guitar work in the hook, and you know, we can't wait to just, you know, jam that sucker on stage, man. I can't wait to have the fans singing that one back to us.
Mhm. Do you have an idea of the new single that will be out?
I don't, you know, I mean, I haven't, you know, we're still in Breathe Again. Like I said, just hit the top of the charts. So hopefully this song keeps going for a while, you know, because again, we start touring, if everything goes as planned, we start touring in July. So, you know, hopefully we'll have a new single closer to then.
Mm. So finally, what did you do? Will you do in this time to you wait for perhaps some gigs in July? I hope everybody
Yeah.
hopes that,
Yeah.
of course. But
Yeah.
what did you do of your time? Do you write new song? Do you write new text?
Always writing, you know, I mean, I think I got another album worth of material, but who knows if it'll ever get released. But, you know, you're always writing and doing what we love. But, you know, for the most part, just doing anything but music. You know, I mean, if we're going to be off and, you know, go through this pandemic, it's been nice to do things that we've always wanted to do. You know, some of us wanted to work some other jobs, make some other money. Some of us wanted to, you know, do some of those projects that we haven't been able to do around the house or around our hometowns, and just, you know, hang out with people that we haven't been able to do. You know, a couple of us wanted to golf. We haven't been able to golf as much as we want with the time off. So, you know, it's just, there's all kinds of things. It depends on what band member you're talking to, you know, but for the most part, you know, we all want to get back to doing what we love, and just kind of ride this time out and trying to be safe, you know, in the process, and just get through it one day at a time like everyone else.
There is finally on this album, like on many albums, you have many style of singing. You have a very melodic style, like I said in Inferno, and you have this type of a little rap metal style. You come from Michigan. Finally, from where? How is it? What pushed you to sing in that way rap metal?
It's just an evolution, you know, of being in a band, being around the people I've been growing up in Michigan, like you said, you know, it just kind of, it's a part of you, you know, you grow up, you get a little better, you know what the fans want from being on stage, performing them, you know, and you just go for it. You know, at some point you start to let the reins off when you're in the studio and you just let your voice be what it is. And then, you know, you like to think your voice keeps growing and getting better, you know, I mean, it just all the shows you play, you know, your voice starts to strengthen up and you're able to do things vocally that you weren't able to do on previous albums, you know. So it's been fun to see that vocal progression, you know, what songs I'm able to sing, where I'm able to take my voice. And that's part of the fun of it, again, when making a record. And I think as you get older in your career, you realize that if you're not having fun, then this isn't worth it, because we're away from our family and friends for so long that it's got to have a purpose. You want to have fun and you want to give back and send a positive message. So just always trying to work my voice.
Do you finally before to record a song, to record an album, to work in studio? Do you have a special preparation about your voice? Do you do something special? I mean, do you work a lot before? How is it before for you as a singer? Before to go in studio?
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing my vocal exercises every day. You're doing it. I'm doing them now. You know what I mean? And we're not playing until, I don't think I'm doing it as much as I would if we were in tour, you know, but you usually do the vocal exercises every day, you know, a couple times. Then you do your wind down at the end of the night. You know what I mean? So you're just trying to take care of your voice. You know, you're trying to, you know, eat healthier as well, you know, so you get in your body the nutrients so it recovers quicker. But yeah, you're always doing the little things to, you know, work out your voice and make sure it's ready to go.
What about the video? Because there is also video for each single. Very futurist. When I see that, it's like how did you say that in English? In English, it's not the band on stage. It's a little movie, you know, with some special characters. How do you find this idea? Is it the guy who worked on the video? It was Joan Carlin who have this idea. How do you work to get the video?
It was a challenge. This video was real tough to do because of COVID. So
Mhm.
Haley was in Europe, so we had to use like a green screen or a white backdrop so we could all kind of be matching. And the rest of us band members were together, which was great. It's the only time I've been together with the band in all of the year, other than when we played a couple shows, I think in January. But so it was cool. It was great to catch up with the guys. Johan was in Sweden, so we had to do it via, you know, via phone call and stuff. And we had a couple directors of photography, the other guys filming here, and we shot at Michigan, which was great. So we were closer to home, so a lot of our family and friends were able to enjoy and see experience that. So it was cool, but it was different with COVID. So we just had no idea really what Johan was going to put together, but he crushed it, man. He took our vision and just totally hit it out of the park. You know, we were grateful that, you know, during COVID, I mean,
Yes, they are
we
very
would
fun.
get any video, let alone one that looked as good as we did. You know, so it was thinking back, it was a challenge, but it was fun at the same time. We just videos are always a different animal. You just kind of go in there and be positive and see what comes out.
So I see that you do a lot of course, before the COVID.
Yeah.
You have the opportunity to open for Cheap Trick with Poison. I suppose it was a package. When you tour with a so huge legend like Cheap Trick, 60 years of rock and roll or something like that, 50
Yeah.
years, do you learn something? Do you learn something to be
Yes.
with them, to see them on stage?
Absolutely. You know, I mean, even from they, especially Cheap Trick and Poison. I mean, that was only a couple years ago. So they were like big brothers. You know, they came in and had us singing with them on stage. You know, we sang with Cheap Trick, I know the band members played with Cheap Trick every night. And I sang with Poison every night. So it was just great. You know, to grow up and love those bands, and then to be able to be on that level with them and have them share their spotlight with us was just commendable. I mean, they're such stand up people, and there's a reason why they've been around for 30 plus years, because they're just great, great, great people. off the stage, and of course their bands speak for themselves, you know, but they all say the same thing. Like, our fans grow up with us and they raise their kids with us. And I thought that always really resonated with me, that it's so important to be positive with your music and send that message, because there's nothing cooler to see from our vantage point on stage, that when fans come with their kids and they're singing your songs together with family. I mean, what's truer and more rock and roll than that? You know, to be able to play music that your families can come together with and sing. I mean, it reminds me of going to concerts with my mom and dad, and to just be able to give a little bit of that back in a small way. That's what it's about, man. There's no, you don't need the fame, you don't need the riches, you don't need the recognition. That's the recognition you see every night when we play, and it's pretty awesome feeling for sure. So that's what they've all taught us. They all say the same thing. Even Judas Priest back in 2010 when we toured them, they all say the same thing. You know, so there's a reason why those bands say that, and if they're saying that 30 years later, you might as well enjoy it now and take a lesson from them. So it's been awesome to have the experience to tour with those great bands.
Yes, you have I read many things about the band, and I have the impression that finally, for you, the fans are really important. You
Yeah.
speak always of them, that help you. What does represent the fans for you?
What do the fans mean to me? Is that what you asked? I'm sorry. Yeah, they
What?
mean they mean everything. I mean, especially the European fans. It's been, I've dreamed, I can speak for me personally, I've dreamed about playing in Europe since the first days I saw rock festivals on TV or in the US. They always showed European festivals. And, you know, the way the French especially embrace rock and metal, it's inspiring. Like, you just want to be over there and play, at least for like 3 months straight. You just want to play, you know, in France alone. So, you know, getting back over there and having, you know, fans in Europe that are singing right along with us, it's this dream. You know, that kid comes out in you. You know, when you're there, even if it's a small show and people are singing back. I mean, we're so far away from each other, and to have people be into your band, it's an honor. You know, that stuff you dreamed about when it was playing in my parents' garage. Like, oh yeah, I'd love to go play in Paris one day. That'd be awesome. And deep down in your head, you're like, that's never going to happen. You know, now that it has, we want to build on that. We want to build on that momentum and get to those fans, those Pop Evil fans that don't even know they're Pop Evil fans yet. So we have a lot of grind to do. We have to get back out. We have to do the hustle. And now COVID makes it even harder. You know, it's a little more challenging, but we're going to get through it. We're going to get there, and we're going to play this new music. So the fans are everything, man. That's the reason we leave the house and, you know, write the music we write, man. It's for them.
Hmm. See, if you have to present this album to somebody who don't know the band,
Yeah.
what will you say about this album?
High energy, number one, and the correlations with life. I mean, there's songs in here for every emotion, and that's what we want to fulfill. Because when you come see a Pop Evil show, we want you to be able to feel something, you know,
Hmm.
not expect something. We want you to feel something, you know, and that's the key. Like, expect the unexpected. You don't know what songs we're going to play. Now this is our 6th album. You don't know what songs we're playing on the set list. Now with all this option, we can change up our set list every night if we wanted. So it'll be exciting to see how we juggle that element in the set with all the songs. What songs are we going to play off this new record? But they can expect, man, some true, honest rock and roll passion. You know, that true, whatever stereotypical American rock band they heard about, that's us. We started in our garage and we took it to the rest of the world. I mean, we all, for the most part, you know, most of us all grew up together. We certainly all grew up listening to rock and roll with our families. And, you know, we put a band together and we keep climbing. We keep doing what we have to do to just get our music out there. We just keep taking our lumps, keep grinding, and just, you know, we're just passionate about what we do, man. So if you want that high energy, you want that natural, organic rawness that is rock and roll, that's our band.
Do you ever finally realize all the dreams you have when you were a kid and you want to sing?
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, I just, it started off with making up my first CD, which now the CDs are funny because they become less and less irrelevant, you know. But all I wanted to do was hear my songs on a CD. You know, you start writing first, and you want to hear them on a CD. And once you get your CD out, you're like, man, I can't wait to have my first show, man, to play these songs. And then you think, well, maybe people might actually like these songs, and someone will show up at my show besides my parents, you know. So it started off with those early dreams, and then they got more serious. You know, it's like, okay, well, now we have a show. We played in front of a packed house. Now we want to get a record deal. We want to make our first national, you know, album. Then how do we get our first worldwide album? You know, and then What about our first tour? You know, what about our first tour with a legendary band? And Judas Priest was that one, you know, or actually I think it was Tesla first, then Judas Priest. So, you know, and then now your goals change. You want to just, hey, listen, I want to make another record, keep adding to the catalog. You know, I want to get through this pandemic and just get back to any show, I think is where we're all at the moment.
So thank you very much for the interview.
Yeah.
I hope to see you really, but perhaps this year or next year in France, in Paris.
Yes.
It will be really great. And thank you very much.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much for having me. Hopefully we can do this in person soon.
Yeah, it will
There
be
you
better.
go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
I love it. Bye now. Bye now.
Bye.
Yeah.